Be trying to catch Charlotte a little by surprise there. Carnes going to direct some traffic. Going to look underneath, has a incompletion. Ricardo Brown flips over the sidewall, make sure he's all right, as that pass went through his hands, and he's not okay, unfortunately. So Brown is shaken up as he flipped over the sidewall here at about the 10-yard line. That's always scary. It's about the fourth or fifth pass that's gone right through a Tornado receiver's hands here this evening. And
well, Brown went over.
It's kind of in slow motion, kind of. It wasn't a quick flip, but yeah, he's holding his back. We'll take a look at the replay, but yeah, you're falling on concrete there. We talked about the fact that the turf itself isn't very forgiving. Well, there's nothing to pad your fall once you go over the sidewall, and he might have caught his back on the chair. There is what it looked like.
Yeah,
he actually hit the floor. It looks like he hit a chair with his back before he went to the floor.
As he was going over, it was almost slow motion as he hit the chair, but at the same time he was inverted. So you got to be careful with his neck and spine there as well, because he was in a very dangerous position going over the boards, and so you just hope that he's okay. And this is nothing serious. Best thing would be he hurt his back a little bit and a little bruise, a little swelling or something like that. Anything more than that is you just don't want that.
And obviously, anytime you're talking back, neck kind of injury, you're going to take every precaution that you can. And so we may be in for a bit of a delay here as they tend to Ricardo Brown here on the near sideline. And we'll certainly can see Janelle Barnes just on the field of play with his head down. I'm sure saying a prayer for his teammate here to hope everything is going to be okay. Just a weird, unusual play and what has been a weird and unusual night for the Tornadoes. Just not gone their way in any way, shape, or form, and it's one thing to lose a football game, but to risk a really serious injury, to do it makes it even worse. So Brown being tended to.
Yeah, Ricardo Brown, number 3, is the player down if you're just joining us. And you see, actually, the next to the referee on the referee's right, that's Lynette Jewell with the Thunder staff. And she's a jack of all trades with this organization. And she's trying to help direct some traffic here. And
I think they may be calling for an ambulance. There is not one on site. Don't necessarily want to completely speculate on that, but I see one of the team people down there on the phone. There is no on-site ambulance, so it'll take a couple of minutes to respond with additional aid if that is in fact what they're calling for. And I don't know if by hitting the chair was a good thing or a bad thing. He might have been better off just falling to the floor and not actually, because I think the chair is what hit the lower back. And those are padded chairs, but they're metal frames, and so it was really kind of an unusual looking thing. But
it is essentially right in front of us.
Yeah, no,
we're up here at the top of section 107. And we're kind of blocked out with we were blocked out with the chairs and the impact and everything. So we're really just kind of crossing our fingers and hoping that
and I am seeing some movement in his feet. So there is some good news there.
I wouldn't mind seeing some more movement.
Yeah, you would like to see a little bit more, although I'm sure they're telling him not to move much.
Well,
because that's as a precautionary thing. If there is an injury there, that you can cause more damage if you move too much. But I did definitely see his foot moving a little bit there. So we'll take one more look at it here.
Yeah, Brown runs that sideline pattern, doesn't come down with it.
Yeah, his feet hit the top of the chair, and so I think it's his back that hit the front of that chair, which, as we said, is padded, but there's a metal frame there. And we will be in for what is going to be a pretty significant delay, as they tend to wide receiver Ricardo Brown. He did not dress in the game here against Georgina a couple of weeks ago. Just one of the really unfortunate parts of sport. And as we said, hopefully the news is just taking
every precaution.
Yeah, every possible precaution to make sure there isn't anything further that can happen to Brown here. Certainly believe he's conscious and everything. There's no other indication that it's anything other than the back injury itself.
Yeah, this is, as you touched on, this is the part of the game that you just hate to see.
And it was a pretty innocent-looking play. I mean, you leave your feet to make the catch, and you're near the sidewall. I mean, it's, you don't expect. I've seen players flip over the wall in this game, certainly. There's been other arena teams that have played here in Lakeland through the years, and haven't seen anything serious like that. But it is obviously a factor, and there's really not. I don't think there's any kind of safeguards you can really put in place that would.
Well, I'm hoping that these are for warmth.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure.
It's a very unusual situation here, folks, and I know we've got a lot of folks tuning in on the live stream tonight, and we do thank you for the company, but we are obviously in a bit of a medical delay here with the injury to the Tornado receiver, Ricardo Brown, who left his feet attempting to catch a pass that was a little bit high, a little overthrown. He tumbled over the wall, and now he is down in a prone position being tended to, and I think we are waiting some medical attention, with medic to come in and take a look at him.
Yeah, I believe that is the case. We're going to head down to the sideline, and Gabrielle Shirley will have perhaps some more information for us. Gabby?
Yeah, I'm here with teammate Ronnie Scott. Ronnie, I saw you walk over there. Can you tell me, we're not going to speculate on an injury, but Ricardo Brown Jr., what was happening over there? What are you feeling right now? Because you never like to see a teammate get injured.
Nah, at this moment, we're just trying to figure out what's wrong. I know he was down there on the ground. They said he hit himself somewhere when he hit the ground going over the wall. He's moving, so he is doing well, but they're trying to keep him stable, make sure everything's okay. But he's going to pull through. He's a strong dude. He's a fighter.
And this is the second injury in so many plays. I mean, seeing your teammates go down like this and the game's not going your way right now, how do you continue forward?
We're professionals. We just got to keep fighting. We got another quarter of football to play, so we got to go ahead and keep playing, and then we have a chance. There's 30 points. This is arena football, games up and down. We get hot, we can figure out how to win this game. It's still a chance here.
Perfect. Ronnie, thank you so much and good luck.
No problem. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'll send it back to you in the booth.
And thank you for that, Gabby. We appreciate your work on the sidelines. Stellar as always, and special thanks in there to Ronnie Scott for sharing a couple of thoughts there on the situation as Ricardo Brown is being tended to outside the playing field at this time. And as Mike mentioned, I believe we're waiting for Lakeland Fire Rescue and an ambulance to come to further assess the situation and as we said, hopefully just take the precaution that there isn't any additional injury done by moving too quickly or too much. Not a head injury, we don't think. It looked to be the lower back, and it's been a bummer of an evening for the Tampa Bay tornadoes all the way around, but that kind of pales in comparison when you talk about an injury situation, and all you can do, I guess, really is hope and say a prayer that Ricardo Brown is okay.
Yeah, and you and I have had a little bit of fun here tonight. I normally call the games for the Thunder at back in Charlotte, and we've had some playful banter. We're going to put that aside here because Ricardo Brown and his health is obviously more important. And it has been a very difficult night for the Tornadoes when you talk about the actual football. But right now, all thoughts are with Ricardo Brown. It's just, and it looked so innocuous. Just a
really,
generic, just like a nothing kind of play. But you just never know, and you just hope that what we're seeing on the field, just over the wall right in front of us, is what you hope you're seeing is you just hope you're seeing everybody just taking every precaution, and they're going to get him, they'll get him taken care of and attended to, and he'll be like, what's all the fuss? I'm fine. That's what you're hoping for.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so we'll just tell you what we can see and know, but which really isn't a lot. And you just can't and don't want to speculate. I did see some movement in one of his feet. But they've also brought some blankets out to keep him warm and make sure. I'm sure there could be some shock that could be setting in. That's always with an injury a possibility, and so you do the best you can. And we expect to have Lakeland Fire Rescue, as we said here, shortly to further assess the situation with. And there are some medical people here, trainers and whatnot, but they're not true medical people in terms of assessing that kind of an injury and being able to respond with what they have available to themselves. So obviously you turn to the professionals, and that's what we are waiting for. So the players will just kind of mill about here on the field, a couple of them out there staying loose. And you do kind of worry about that when you get back to play. We're probably looking at 20, 30-minute kind of delay, and we may have to have some time where the teams will have to kind of re-warm up, if you will, and not risk some kind of an additional injury. So I think we may have another update from Gabrielle now. Gabby, do you have something for us?
Hi, guys. Yes, I see a stretcher coming in right now. They're walking on that sideline to go to Ricardo Brown Jr. And really, you never like to see this. You heard from Ronnie Scott, who said that this is just the worst. And I spoke to another player earlier in this game, Jordan Guess, actually before it started, and I asked what was so special about this team. And right off the bat, without hesitation, he said the camaraderie that they have, and that this is a brotherhood, and that everyone has each other's backs. And you have seen tornado after tornado go over there to check on Brown Jr. and just see, if he's okay. According to Scott, he said that he is talking a little bit, not a whole lot of movement, but he thinks, he's going to be all right. Obviously, we cannot speculate on exactly what happened, but that's a good sign. And then stretchers over there, and these guys, they're just crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. I'll send it back to you.
Brian, if I may, we just saw tonight's referee giving a very detailed explanation as to what he has been seeing with Brown, what happened on the play, and what has been described to him. So now Lakeland Fire and Rescue is in there to try to take over and assess the situation and make the next moves in terms of Brown's care. So we talk about the players being in great shape. We talk about the official or the trainers and the coaches doing their jobs to get these guys going, but these officials also have to be ready for just about anything because they control the game. They're watching the game and they're making sure that it's being played fairly. But in a situation like this, and I don't have tonight's referees, I don't have his name in front of me, but you just saw an example of a guy that I'm going to guess that there's probably maybe EMT fire and rescue background in his life somewhere, and I'm going to guess that maybe he's just a junior lifesaver with Cluster's lifeguard, but he knows
he took control of the situation.
He did, absolutely. That's where I finally landed the plane. There is that he stepped in, and he's the guy that's watching over this. And now EMTs, the real EMTs, are in to kind of take over.
Yeah, both the Lakeland Fire Rescue and Polk County Fire Rescue. The Lakeland is in Polk County, so they've had a couple of different units respond here, and they're assessing the situation on Ricardo Brown, who if you're just tuning in, flipped over the sidewall here about the 15-yard line on an incomplete pass from quarterback Breon Carnes, and we have been in a delay ever since. We believe our best guess is that Carnes hit the front part of a metal chair, a padded metal chair that there are, for lack of a better term, kind of like luxury boxes down there by the floor where the most expensive tickets are sold and fans sit, and each of those boxes have pretty heavy, padded but heavy metal chairs with steel frames around them, and it looked to be as that's what Brown hit, and they've got the backboard out here.
Backboard out there now,
yep.
Brian. They're going to roll him over on that, and he'll be able to transport him. And
that's actually a good sign.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the
right,
best sign
right.
we've gotten out of this whole situation.
Yeah. So they will be very gentle and delicate here with Brown, and off to, I'm guessing, Lakeland Regional, which is literally about 2 minutes from here. Was a patient there for 6 nights myself earlier this year, so can vouch for the quality of the staff at Lakeland Regional. And
that's not really an endorsement you really ever want to have to make.
No,
but when you have to make it, it's always nice to be able to make it.
I was there, and it's first rate, so affiliated with the Mayo Clinic and excellent medical facility, so I'm sure they will, that's where they'll head, and Brown will get checked out, and hopefully everything will be all right, and maybe we'll get a sign from Brown as he's taken from the arena here in just a couple of minutes. But
well, I did notice that the Lakeland Fire and Rescue gentleman was the one that's at where
head,
Rodrigo Brown's head is.
Yeah.
I believe he was cutting off his jersey, and it looks like they've taken off his shoulder pads as well. And now looks like they're going to put a collar on there just to around his neck just to keep him stabilized.
Yep, exactly right. As we said, there's very distinct and very distinct and specific protocols in this kind of a situation, and every Polk County Fire Rescue, and I'm sure every Lakeland Fire Rescue personnel is trained in these procedures, so. And the other good news is there doesn't appear to be anything else wrong with him. They haven't rendered any other medical aid other than just being very careful about whatever the back injury is and making sure that the movements are controlled and by the book. Gabrielle talking about the camaraderie on the Tornadoes, but we mentioned it just ironically a couple minutes ago, Mike, about the camaraderie. This is going to affect the Thunder, not equally, but it will affect them to have, you can see one of the Thunder players over there showing their immediate concern as well, and as we said, nobody plays this game to get rich or famous. It's entertainment, it's fun, and moments like this are not. But they happen.
You know, Marley Conley, number 55, standing there for the Thunder, kind of looking on and standing right next to a guy that he's competing against tonight. And there's no animosity at this point. There's no, the game is secondary. And that's what to me true competitors are all about. You compete hard when the game is on, and at the end of the day, you shake your opponent's hand and you say, job well done. Whether it's a close game, whether it's a blowout, you still have to respect your opponent. And the concern being shown by, as I mentioned, Lynette there from the Thunder staff, and another Thunder player hanging out there. It's just everybody is trying to just be together be there for each other right now.
I think that is Ronnie Scott, who Gabrielle talked with a few minutes ago, that's also there on behalf of the Tornadoes. A lot of the players out on the field stretching and throwing a football and just doing what they can to also stay loose, because as we mentioned, when you've had a screeching halt like this for 20 or 30 minutes, it's almost starting from scratch again physically for the players that remain, and that's always
another halftime.
Always a greater threat for an injury that to themselves when they're in that situation. So getting stretched out and properly limbered, then injuries can happen. So we'll see. And there is the thumbs up that we were hoping for, and that is the best news of all, as Brown will be checked out, but obviously that's a great sign to.
And they're going to take every step very slowly, very carefully. And we did see a hand movement. Their hands moves again.
Yeah.
Applause from his teammates as he's going off.
Yeah, Murray over there. Barnes
he did give a thumbs up.
He did, yeah. Yeah. Well, back to football here in just a minute. We'll reset the stage for you.
I'd imagine the officials are going to give the players a minute or two to,
I would think, and I would hope. I don't know exactly what the what the protocol is to restart without any kind of a little more of a stretching. But as we said, the players were trying to keep themselves loose and ready to go when the situation was under control. So our thoughts and prayers and best wishes to Ricardo, but the signs were positive, and we'll hang our hat on that.
And really now the test for the Tornadoes, not only as we get back to football and the score, now they've got to fight the emotion of losing a teammate like this, losing two perhaps.
Yeah.
Because it was Brown, and the play before that was Barris.
Yeah.
So the